Now at 10 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, our top story tonight, a VISD candidate under scrutiny for anti-Semitic comments made online.
In Port Lavaca, police arrested a man on 2 counts of sexual assault of a child.
And the historic Luther Hotel in Palacios has a new owner with big plans. Reporter Adam Seibel has the details.
Well, the thunderstorms have begun, and we're going to be looking at them all weekend long. While this is the stuff that went through today, out here you can see another line of big storms all drifting in this direction. So you're going to be looking at a rather wet and stormy weekend. I'll have all the details coming up.
Yeah, we had lots of action from around the area out on the baseball and softball diamond. I'll have highlights and scores coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Karina Garcia.
New at 10 around 8 o'clock tonight, a male driver veered off Ben Jordan, colliding with several vehicles in the parking lot of the Summerstone apartment complex. Victoria Police says that a man was traveling down Ben Jordan and overcorrected when he tried to avoid hitting a car who was backing out of a private residence. In doing so, that driver then overcorrected, jumped the curb into the Summerstone apartment complex, hitting 3 parked cars. VPD cited the driver for no insurance, no driver's license, and not wearing a seatbelt. They said at this time they have no reasonable suspicion that the man was under the influence of any drugs or alcohol. He was transferred to Citizens Medical Center with minor injuries. There were no other injuries. New at 10, the driver of a stolen truck involved in a Goliad County bailout February 26th is back in that county, this time in jail. U.S. Marshals helped find Jose Vieira Romero of Mexico in a camper in Fort Bend County. He faces charges of engaging in organized criminal activity, evading arrest with a vehicle, and unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. He is in the Goliad County Jail in lieu of $250,000 bond.
In DeWitt County, deputies arrested a suspect from Jasper. 41-year-old Robert Farmer is charged with online solicitation of a minor and obstruction or retaliation. He is in the DeWitt County Jail in lieu of $125,000 bond. Port Lavaca police arrested a 76-year-old suspect Friday. Samuel Chavez faces 2 counts of sexual assault of a child. The charges first came out last September. Police told us they were putting the case together before they arrested the suspect.
A Houston man was arrested on 3 charges in Wharton County. 34-year-old Asiel Sanchez Ramirez is charged with 2 counts of human smuggling. Those charges are from Brooks County. He is in the Wharton County Jail in lieu of $42,000 bond. A candidate for the District 2 seat on the Victoria ISD board has been under fire for certain posts on social media.
This after some members in the community deemed the post anti-Semitic. Our reporter Adarius McCormick spoke with the candidate and a Victoria Jewish leader about the backlash.
Andrew Rokovich faced backlash from the Jewish community after he made an uninformed post a Victoria Jewish leader called anti-Semitic.
If he follows this path of anti-Semitism and racism, then he's not going to go very far in politics unless he wants to be the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan.
The wildly discussed Facebook post by Andrew Rokovich said they have been allowed to morally skirt laws for 2,000 years. Seemed like a coincidence with this reel attached. We asked whether he would take offense if this post was made about his faith.
Simple answer, yes, I would be. I've spent a long time I would say the word desensitized from a lot of things, so I may not pick up on it right away.
After receiving backlash for the post, Rokovich spoke with Dr. Gary Branfman. Dr. Branfman told him more about the history of anti-Semitism, even here in Victoria, including the vandalism of the synagogue back in 2018. Rokovich explained how apologetic he was in this statement.
I regret my poorly thought through attempt to engage in a larger religious conversation online.
However, Dr. Branfman questions Rokovich's sincerity. He believes Rokovich could be playing to the crowd since he is running for the Victoria ISD's District 2 seat.
The question is this legitimate, or is this because he wants to get into politics? And I believe in people's deeds, not their words.
The District 2 candidate says voters should not judge him by this incident. He has plans for the school district, and the snap judgment could foil his election. Rakovich and Dr. Bramfman had a conversation about the incident earlier this week.
He can say whatever he wants, and I'll listen and I'll hear it. Now the question is, what happens if 2 months from now I see another anti-Semitic, Jew-hating post on his Facebook page? Then we know he lacks sincerity.
Dr. Bramfman told Andrew Rakovich to visit the Holocaust Museum in Houston for a better understanding of the Jewish community. Rakovich says he'll attempt to think before he posts. Don, Karina, back to you.
Darius, thank you. Around 5:15 this afternoon, emergency workers were busy with a crash involving an ambulance at East Rio Grande Street and North Navarro Street. A Calhoun County EMS ambulance was transporting a patient and needed another ambulance to get to that patient to their location following the crash with a car. The Victoria Fire Department says 4 people were taken to the hospital. A 5th person refused medical transport.
U.S. Representative District 27 Michael Cloud put out a statement today on why he voted for a ban on TikTok this week. He said TikTok, quote, is a key vector in China's unrestricted warfare against the United States, allowing the Chinese government access to millions of people's data and the ability to manipulate the data against Americans, unquote. Let's take a first look at your forecast with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez. Mac, some storms have hit the crossroads already. When will more storms hit?
I think by sunrise. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at this map. We're looking at the Rio Grande right about here, so that's Laredo. Big storms are firing out there, and generally they're going to be drifting in this direction because the upper winds are forcing them in that direction. So this will be here by sunrise, and then your Saturday and your Sunday is going to be looking at shower activity pretty much all day long, all weekend long. Sorry about the weekend, but if you had outdoor plans, got to look at Plan B. We'll have all your weather coming up in just a moment.
Mac, thank you. After a years-long legal battle, a historic hotel in Palacios is safe from demolition.
25 News Now weekend anchor Adam Seibel joins us with more.
After the threat of demolition loomed over the Luther Hotel for several months now, the hotel is now under contract to Palacios native Nick Herman. After legal battles in probate court, the historic 121-year-old Luther Hotel will once again host guests. Herman finalized the purchase and signed a contract buying the historic hotel from the Finley estate. Herman fought to save the hotel since he first discovered the plans for demolition and has been working with donors, investors, hotel operators, and preservation experts. Margaret Dowdy is on the Palacios Preservation Association and has fought to save the Luther.
I think the Luther absolutely is officially saved. We're lucky we have a number of developers and operators, architects, a group of people who've been waiting for this day to be able to get together and look at the resources, look at the plans, and figure out exactly how the Luther will be restored, renovated, and doors open as a working hotel again.
Vision includes preserving the building's original charm while also reintroducing features like the longest porch in Texas. He paid $1.55 million for that property. The Palacios Preservation Association says they hope to have the hotel restored and open in 2 to 2.5 years, so be on the lookout for the comeback of the Luther Hotel. Don, Karina, back to you.
Adam, thank you. Here's your beer poll tonight. You can scan that QR code right there on your screen to vote now. The question is, do you plan to visit the Luther Hotel when it reopens? 34% stand at yes, and the remaining 66% stand at no. Thank you for voting. Don't forget, come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part.
A new report shows Formosa Plastics has building plans on the table. The Texas Tribune reports Formosa Plastics proposed to build a new vinyl chloride reactor. This would produce material for PVC plastic at its 2,500-acre Point Comfort complex on Lavaca Bay. The report adds the company has quietly advanced other expansion plans lately.
TxDOT recommended permanent closure of the DuPont Bridge at the Victoria Barge Canal. The closure starts March 29th. Access to the property across the canal will require using the alternate route on Levee Road.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell so when you're on YouTube, you can get Crossroads Today. That's how you do it.
Anytime,
all right.
anywhere.
Yes, indeed. Stay with us. Fani Willis hangs on to the Trump case. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, what lies ahead for the prosecution of Donald Trump.
Also ahead, the House GOP considers ending the impeachment probe into President Joe Biden. Here's a look at Community Crossroads this weekend. We talk about the Victoria Art and Music Walk, followed by the Cuero Regional Hospital, the Victoria Kiwanis Club, and a special guest musical performance by Rosemarie.
Lift your chin up high. Take off your favorite shoes and let's go dancing in the sky.
New York City is no longer legally required to provide long-term housing to adult migrants. Friday, the city made the announcement after it reached a settlement with homeless advocacy groups. New York City Mayor Eric Adams says this ruling is effective immediately and intended to last through the duration of the migrant crisis. The agreement does not impact families. Adult migrants under 23 years old will be offered an additional 30 days for a total of 60 days of shelter before being asked to move out. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis is staying on the Trump criminal case in Georgia.
But there are many questions about the path forward with the lead prosecutor out and Willis's conduct slammed by the judge.
As she fought to stay on the Trump case, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis struck a defiant tone.
These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial.
That fiery testimony described today as unprofessional by District Judge Scott McAfee, as he still allowed Willis to remain on the case. But Willis isn't free and clear just yet. A Georgia State Senate committee is still investigating whether she engaged in improper conduct in the Trump case. And she's been in hot water for this type of thing before.
This is the second judge now who's been dealing with the case, Judge McBurney. The first one told the DA that she'd used bad judgment and there was a problem, an appearance problem. And so now we have a second round of that.
That refers to when Fulton County Judge Robert McBurney blocked Willis from filing charges against one of Georgia's fake electors because she had held a fundraiser for his opponent.
It's a what are you thinking moment. The optics are horrific.
Willis, a Democrat and Fulton County's first female district attorney, had been in office for only 1 day when then-President Trump called Georgia's Secretary of State in January 2021 and urged him to find votes to overturn the 2020 election results in Georgia. The single mother of two, in her early 50s, says she was raised by a single father. Her father himself was a lawyer and a member of the Black Panther movement. Her name, Fani, is Swahili and means prosperous. Originally from California, Willis attended Howard University in Washington, D.C., then got her law degree from the Emory School of Law. She forged her professional reputation with successful prosecutions in a massive cheating scandal in Atlanta's public schools and by bringing anti-corruption charges against rapper Young Thug.
A workaholic that is very driven, very smart, and, very if you're on a case, it's step 1, step 2, step 3, get to it.
From here, analysts say the pressure on Willis to be above reproach in the Trump case will be enormous, and one veteran attorney advises her to toe that line as far under the radar as possible.
If I'm Fani Willis, I want to retreat from the limelight of this case right now in the sense that let your line prosecutors, let the team you assembled be the face of this case.
Legal analyst Bradley Moses continues to say Willis should stay in the background and the focus should be on the allegations against Donald Trump, not about the district attorney herself.
In a win for former President Trump, a New York judge ruled to postpone the hush money trial until mid-April. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg supported the decision to delay the trial for at least 30 days. Bragg attributed the delay to the Southern District of New York supplying over 100,000 pages of discovery just 10 days before the trial was due to start. The documents pertain to Michael Cohen's 2018 guilty plea to numerous charges, including secret payments to women who claimed they had affairs with the former president, business dealings with Russia, and other activities. House Republicans opened their impeachment inquiry into President Biden 6 months ago. Now they're considering ending it. They currently lack the votes in their narrow majority to impeach the president. Much of that investigation focused on Hunter Biden. The president's son was at the center of allegations and theories that his father used his position to benefit the family's business dealings. But the closed-door deposition of the president's son failed to deliver the smoking gun Republicans were hoping for. Much of the final decision on how and when to end the inquiry will fall on House Speaker Mike Johnson. When you think of weather in Texas, you don't usually think of chunks of hail.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what fell from the skies in our Lone Star State today. Severe storms rolled through North Texas and dropped large bits of hail on multiple communities, with sizes ranging from a quarter to the size of your hand. The trend of strong weather conditions wasn't limited to just Texas, though, as states like Ohio, Indiana, and Arkansas experienced heavy winds and tornadoes alike. But meteorologist Mac Bettis can tell you more about that.
Yes, that whole system dropped from Dallas last night down into our area, and we are going to be talking about how it's going to affect your weekend. Right now, 70 degrees. We didn't get any rain in the city of Victoria, or at the airport more specifically. We did get up to 84 degrees, but we did have thunder showers around the region. Our friends in Hallettsville know what we're talking about. They had dime-sized hail, so did Shiner, and now all of that is gone. But we've got another cluster of storms to look at, and we'll look at them coming up after this. Well, good evening, everybody. While we did have the activity that rolled through our area earlier today, that is all gone. It's way out there in Houston, Beaumont. What we now have to look at is this activity along the Rio Grande. You can see the upper winds are blowing in this direction, so anything that fires down here, you know, from Laredo is going to come up into our area. And in fact, the computer models will show you how we do expect that. We do have some severe thunderstorms right there in Laredo right now. All the stuff that came through Houston is pretty much gone. In fact, the storm basically went along I-10 and then got to Houston and then turned south. Right here in this area of Brazoria County, they had lots of trees down, lots of tables blown over. They had about 40 telephone poles that got blown over in the high wind. But fortunately, that's over for tonight, but we've got more to deal with. Now, the severe thunderstorm watch is still in effect for the areas along the Rio Grande, but ours has been lowered for right now. Tomorrow is another day. And so we're going to be watching the activity pop over there and then move across into our region. There's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Tomorrow we have a slight chance of getting some severe weather in pretty much the crossroads and all the way down to the border and all the way across to Houston, as well as we've got a couple of systems that are coming through the region. Here's another view of the activity that came across I-10. This is the, I missed it. This is the one that bothered the folks out at the rodeo right about there, but that again is over for tonight. Now, Future Tracker will tell you exactly what we're talking about. There's stuff at the border, right? In a couple hours or in an hour, it'll be here, and then overnight, it's going to get very close to our area. Now, this is tomorrow, 3 a.m. on Saturday. More activity from down there and then rolling toward us. So you're going to see it fire here and then move in our direction. So it's coming back from the south. Now here we are talking about early on Saturday, and we get a little bit of a break, but it's not over with just yet. There's another surge of moisture, and that's on Sunday morning right about there. That looks kind of a mess. It's going to affect your weekend. All of you are going to have to, run around the thunder shower activity. And there may be another little bitty surge, but by Monday, a lot of this will start pulling out of the area. So by and large, your outdoor plans are pretty limited now, and we won't have any real clearing until about Monday. So that goes the weekend. I've been apologizing all week, so I'll just apologize one more time. Looking at shower activity for Port Lavaca pretty much all day long, getting only up to about 76, 77. And then scattered thunderstorms in the Cuero area. Pretty much everybody's going to be dealing with this, so we have it as an alert day. An alert day means that pretty much everybody's going to be affected in a negative way by the amount of rain that we're going to get, because I'm probably looking at 1 inch of rain on Saturday and another 1 or 2 on Sunday. So that's a 3-inch total over 2 days. That's a lot. So we'll watch and wait and watch very carefully. Just watch your, roll over early in the morning and stay in bed for the half of the day. We get a little bit of clearing Monday, Tuesday, but again, believe it or not, the rain comes back on Wednesday of next week. So we'll be certainly watching that. Take care, have a great weekend, and drive carefully in the rain. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads a day on your phone. Here's Zach with sports.
The West Warriors with a home showdown versus Carroll. I have highlights and other scores from around the area coming up in sports. Some zone crossover action over at Riverside Stadium. The West Warriors taking on the Carroll Tigers. Carroll, they got on the board first in their top of the second inning. In the bottom half of that same inning, West trying to respond, but an inning-ending double play preserves the 1-0 lead. By the way, defense and pitching would be the theme in this one. Victoria West trying to push a runner into scoring position, still down the 1 run, but great throw from UTSA commit Dave Palomo nabs him and takes away that threat. But like I said, Victoria West also excellent defense and pitching themselves. Check that out. Big bounce for Bo Woods, unassisted to second, and on the first to get an inning-ending double play of their own. A few innings later, bases loaded, big bat at the plate, nice grab in right field to escape the bases loaded jam. By the way, still 1-0 headed to the 6th inning, but Carroll gets a big run in that 6th inning to make it 2-0, and in the 7th, with 2 outs, they add a massive insurance run. And the reason why that particular run was so big, Victoria West would actually score twice in the bottom of the 7th, and that's where they will be held. They lose a tough one. Final score, 3-2. The number 14 ranked Refugio Bobcats get a district showdown against Woodsboro at Whataburger Field. Refugio not wasting any time. Star athlete Isaiah Avery, RBI single to left, scores Ray Lewis. Their next batter would be Xander Wills going to the opposite field. Refugio scored early and often. They get a 9-1 win. The Bobcats looking great in the early going of the season. Speaking of great pitching, another Victoria East masterpiece, pitching a shutout and scoring 10 runs. Joey Lee allowed just the 1 hit in the ball game against Flower Bluff. Mason Sockwell and Garcia each had 2 RBIs apiece for the home team. That was tied for the team high on the day. The East Titans cooking up something big this year, sit at 15-4 on the year. They get Gregory Portland this Wednesday at Riverside. In Hallettsville, the Brahmas, fresh off their upset from the Yoakum Bulldogs, able to bounce back against Edna. Low-scoring pitchers duel over their final score, 4-2. Brahmas right back on track in business as usual for the Cuero girls. They are ranked in the top 4 in Class 4A for a reason. They showed you why earlier this afternoon, using a couple of bombs en route to an easy 17-2 win. They have run that winning streak up to 10 games in a row. In some NFL news, the Cowboys have made a pair of moves today, and they're kind of sad. They're saying goodbye to a pair of longtime stars in the organization, Leighton Vander Esch and Michael Gallup. Vander Esch could never quite avoid his injury bug, and he's listed as a failed physical designation, and Michael Gallup listed as a post-June 1st cut. By cutting Gallup, they open up about $9.5 million in cap space for this season. Now, from the gridiron out to the hardwood, the number 1 ranked Houston Cougars taking on Texas Tech in the Big 12 semifinal round, and pure dominance from the word go. LJ Cryer nailed 6 3-pointers on the evening, scoring 20 points in the game. They needed that big outpour because Houston was down star big man Jawan Roberts for much of this game. Houston goes on to get the dominant win, 82-59. They play the winner of Iowa State and Baylor. Right now, Iowa State winning by double digits. Time winding down in that one. And we've got some really unfortunate news. Blaze Taylor, who is the son of former Cuero State champion and current Aggies running backs coach Trooper Taylor, has been arrested for murder. Last year, he allegedly poisoned his pregnant girlfriend, where she and the unborn baby died. In fact, Blaze Taylor is said to have originally called 911. He claimed she was suffering an allergic reaction. That is it for your sports. Donna Karina, back to you.
Thanks, Zach, and stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10, we're going to take a last look at your weather. Plus, a California man becomes a billionaire overnight. The winner of the Powerball jackpot next. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos is awarding $100 million to actress Ava Longoria and retired Navy Admiral Bill McRaven. The two are recipients of Bezos' yearly Courage and Civility Award. Longoria and McRaven are each getting $50 million. Longoria says she will use the money to help small business owners in Latino communities. McRaven says his $50 million will go to help veterans and their families. Bezos says he plans to give away most of his wealth during his lifetime, focusing on climate change and supporting people who can unify humanity.
It's pandemonium.
Yes,
It's National Panda Day. You'll notice we did not say panda bears because the jury is still out on that one. You might remember learning pandas have more in common with raccoons than bears, but DNA studies are now making a more widely accepted case that pandas are actually true bears. Whatever they are. Almost everyone agrees pandas are adorable and worth saving, except for that
100%.
bamboo shoot there. There are thought to be fewer than 2,000 left in the wild. Another 100 live in zoos around the world. Oh, those pandas.
Clumsy babies.
Cute, cuddly, and climbing on things, and rare.
And the baby ones are even cuter. Unbelievable.
Oh, yes. We're not going to have cute weather this week.
No, not at all.
Unfortunately.
But you know, you're forewarned, and so you're prepared, and you know what's going to happen. And so overnight, it's a little clearing, but then tomorrow morning, we're looking at another band of storms coming through. Now, it's not going to rain all day, but there will be periods of thunder showers that are going to be gully washers, okay? In other words, we're going to get a lot of rain real quick as they come through. Thunder and lightning. With this activity, we're under severe watch, likely to redevelop that again tomorrow, and that's for Saturday and Sunday. So, best advice, stay home, watch a movie, binge watch old episodes of Friends or something like that.
That's a good one, yeah. All right, thank you, Mac. And finally, the California Lottery announced the winner of last year's $1.76 billion Powerball jackpot.
Whoa.
Officials said Theodorus Stroik, who represents the group of winners, bought that ticket last October at this market about 2 hours north of Los Angeles. This was the second largest U.S. lottery jackpot ever won. The store that sold the lucky ticket for this $1.76 billion jackpot got a $1 million bonus check.
Nice.
Actually, if they picked it up last year, it would have been $7.8 million, but it's the taxes in California. I mean, it's just,
Well, yeah, but he won't have to work anymore, that's for sure.
Yeah,
well,
that's true.
for another 30 days, I think. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for joining us for 25 News Now at 10.
Join Carolina Astorina, meteorologist Parker Cox. For Sunrise on Monday, join Adam Seibel and Trey Mining over the weekend for the very latest on the storms and the latest on news. And go to our website, crossroadstoday.com. Good night and have a great weekend, everybody.